Hi guys, my name's Sierra. I apologize I couldn't be in class tonight, so this part of the presentation is going to be over videocast, so I apologize if the flow is a little off. Completely my fault. I take full responsibility. The way we wanted to start off our presentation for Project Impact was by going over some things that have really stuck with us throughout this entire semester and really helped us with this project especially. So to start, Dr. Tennyson's favorite thing, oneness. I know that it's something that has been very important to him and something that he has laid on all of our hearts, everyone in this class's heart, to really work towards oneness and to see the importance of that in the world. It's something that became a curriculum every week, and I think that it's a huge goal of this class as a whole and of each of us, not only during the semester, but to continue on with, going on and going forth with our careers and our lives. So basically just two more people compromising to bring unity and to work towards a common goal of greater good. And I think that oneness is something that we reflect back on, especially with the project that we're doing here with Project Impact. I'm not going to say too much about what we're doing. I know that my teammates probably will want to explain that one to you in just a second, so I'll keep that pretty quiet. But something else that we've learned throughout this entire process and this semester is the right in the world and the wrong in the world. Now, I know that most of us see what's wrong in the world every day. There's always negativity in the news, on Facebook, on Twitter. There's disaster and there's tragedy, and there are things that shouldn't happen to people, but they happen every day. And as terrible as every tragedy and disaster are, I think that it's so important to remember that there is good in the world, and there's a lot of it. We just don't see a lot of it. It's done in a small scale and something that people don't always share, and I think that it's important to remember how much right there is in the world. Now, especially reflecting back with this project that we've done, we have learned how to take what is wrong in the world or what is a bad or disaster in the world and bring in an impact such as sport to create a right in the world and a good in the world in hopes. That's obviously our ending goal, is to bring positivity and happiness and love to this group of women that we're working with. So I just think it's so important that we, from here on out after this class, remember that there is right in the world and that right can come from wrong. And anything, any small impact, but especially obviously in this class with our work with sport, can turn it into the good. And I think that's really imminent to remember. Something that we have gone over as a class since day one, or kind of in small pieces, is the participation of sport and how it can be used for the greater good. Now, I know I'm speaking as an athlete, hopefully for most athletes, and now as a coach, and probably for most of you in this classroom, we all probably feel the same. Sport has brought us very far in life. We're in a sports class, so obviously most of us want to do something with a game in our lives. So I think that it's really important to remember what good comes out of what we do every day. I think it's really something that we forget every day. I know that a lot of people take for granted what they do with sport or the sport that they play, and you have to look at sport every day as a blessing, I think, and because it's not offered to everyone, which is something that we're trying to work towards changing, because I think that it should be offered for everyone, anyone, of any culture, of any race, of any size, any shape, any disability, anywhere in the world. Sport should be offered. And I think that we as a group all feel that way, so this is something that we have thought about going into this project and asking ourselves how we can impact these people, or which people we should impact. The bottom line is that everyone in the world should be offered a sport, and that goes back to the theory of Olympism, that basically sport is a given right, a God-given right that everyone should have equal rights to and accessibility to. I think that there is so much alteration that you can do in sport. Anything can be changed. Kickball can be changed into you don't have to run. Or, that we heard the other day about a story of a blind kickball team. Now, you talk about someone with a disability and they were able to change a sport into something that they could still do. So I think that there is so much alteration and change that we can bring to any sport in the world to make accessible to anyone. And I think that's so important, especially all of us sitting here as athletes, because, I mean, where would you be without it? I wouldn't be here, that's for sure, without sport. And I think that this is something we really wanted to bring to these women that we're working with. Kickboxing is the sport, and one of the sports, and basically self-defense classes that we're going to be working with. Sport lets out anger. It gets out so much tension and aggression, and it lets out adrenaline, and it's so important for our bodies to feel that every day, and to have a passion for something is probably my number one thing. I've always been a believer that you do things with passion or you don't do them at all. And I have seen firsthand that sport brings that to people. So we overall as a team think that sport should be allowed to anyone, and we're more than excited to bring sport to these lovely ladies that we're working with. So I'm going to let my team explain the rest of it. Thank you guys for letting me video in, and have a nice night.